Okay. Done? Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Okay, so I'll be reading it for you, but students are absent. That's the problem. And we're going to read a love poem. We're going to read a love poem. Do you hear me what I said? I didn't say poem, I said poem. We're going to read a love poem. Clear? Okay. And don't think that Najmusa is so romantic. Oh, first class. No, don't think like that. We are reading this poem only because it helps you to do a good exercise of your tongue. Okay? That's why we have chosen this poem. Clear? Done? There is no other reason for that. It's not like a love letter or something. That's why I brought it for you. No. The reason is very clear. The reason is that it helps you to exercise in a good way. Let's do it. How do I love thee? How do I love thee? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. How do I love thee? Can you hear me? And can you just do a lip sync with me? You see, the original singers, those who perform on the stage, they don't sing actually. They do only lip sync. Do you know that? Right? It's being recorded already, and they just play the song and then they do la la la. They just do the lip sync. That's it, simple. And now you are going to do the lip sync without making noise. Clear? Let's do it. How do I love thee? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth, breadth, and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight, for the ends of being an ideal grace. I love thee to the level of everyday's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as man strive for right. I love thee purely as the turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old grips and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with the love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. I'm reading it for you again. Listen to me carefully. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being ideal grace, I love thee to the level of everyday's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as man strive for right. I love thee purely as the turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old grips and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with the love I seem to lose with my lost sense. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. Thank you. Now listen to me carefully. There's some pronunciation that you need to know. There is a pronunciation sound of V. You see that? Can you pronounce the word with me? Love. Love. How do you say it? Very. So it's a very easy technique that you should write it down if you want. V's to bite your tongue. To pronounce W, kiss. Okay. We'll be doing it so quick, please. I'm teaching you how to kiss, huh? Okay, so write it down. Okay. Very easy. W's sound is like kiss. That's it. Okay. Bite your tongue and kiss. Easy. Now listen to me very carefully. What do I do? Now can you just pronounce with me this one? And listen how I pronounce that. Listen at my expression so that you can say very. Look at my upper lips. It's biting the tongue. Very. Water. It's like kissing, right? Right? So that's the sound of the W. When you find a word that begins with W, do like that, the sound will be coming automatically. Now, if I say that, sorry. If I just say that, if it works. Now, let me see your expression. Weather. See? Like, okay. I think all of you have kissed, right? Ah. Okay, so have you got the shit? Okay. Okay, so now when I pronounce love, the, just check it, and feel good, okay? You're pronouncing. Give a, just give a jerk and start. The, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. We don't say it let, we say let me count the ways. Ways. Wow. Experts of kissing. Okay. So the sound of the V should be like biting your tongue. And the sound of the W should be like kissing. Clear? Always when you find a word, because sometimes we say like water. Now, you find that the sounds are coming easily, right? This is how you work on your pronoun. What's that word now? What's the most difficult word to pronounce? Anyone? Can you just, yes, say what to say? It should be like that. Is there anyone who has got a marker? Okay, sorry. Okay, so no marker is working. Can we just pronounce with me, say with me, enunciation. Enunciation. Now say with me, pronunciation. It's not pronunciation, it's pronunciation. Clear? It's not pronunciation, it's called pronunciation. Is automatically something like that, enunciation. Clear? Pronunciation and enunciation, those are meaning the same thing. Now let me read it for you again. Concentrate. Now I'll be asking you, you have to come over here and then you have to read it with me. Okay, ready? And don't feel shy, okay? This poem is dedicated to all of your beloved. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight for the ends of being an ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as man strive for right. I love thee purely as the turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use. Use. Can I say it with me? Use. So that's easy. In my old gifts and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with the love I seem to lose. It's a vowel sound, lose. So you can do extension, just like lose. Don't we say that? It's so, the cloth is so loose, right? And when you say loose, it means you feel that, right? Your expression says it all. The cloth is so loose, right? But that's not that loose. This loose means to having lost something, okay? With my lost things, I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after that. Clear? Now let me help. If you want to read again. And then I'll be helping you just to read it with me. Okay? Rocky, do it. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Praise. Is there any word that you find difficult to pronounce? Any word? Umaima, any word that you find difficult to pronounce? Okay, thank you. I think we need to move on quick. Okay, let me help. We do it in a couple, okay? Meaning that, okay, let's do it in the opposite direction. You two, you two, you two, you two, you two, you two. And you two, 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 two. Okay, done. Done? Two, two, two. Done? Okay, who wants to come first? You can come, Shagor. Make sure that you hold the microphone here, okay, and then in the middle so that you can talk. Thank you. We'll be trying to this.
So what's the process of discussing?
No, you'll be saying the first line, then you'll be saying second line. Clear? Just hold that like that.
Okay. In the middle.
In the middle.
এখানে রাখো তোমার হবে আমার হবে
Okay, wait, please. Excuse me, sir.
ফার্স্ট লাইন
Right.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
love thee to the depth.
Come closer.
Love thee to the depth and breadth and height.
My soul can reach when feeling out of sight.
For the ends of beginning and ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of everydays.
Most quite neat by sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for right.
I love thee purely as they turn from praise.
I love thee with the passion put the use.
In my old graves and with my childhood's faith.
In my old graves and with my childhood, and I love thee with the love I seemed to lose.
With my lost saints, I love thee with the breath.
Smiles, tears, all of my life, and if God choose.
I shall but love thee better after death.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next. Next. Okay, I'll be telling you what are the mistakes.
শুরু থেকে
So you'll be saying the first line, you'll be saying the second line.
Okay.
And make sure that you keep the microphone in the middle
Okay.
and come closer when you speak.
Okay.
Ready?
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love to the depth and breadth and height.
My soul can reach when feeling out of sight.
For the end of being an ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of everydays.
Most quite neat by sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for right.
I love the pure and turn from price.
I love thee with the passion put to use.
In my old grief and with my childhood faith.
I love thee with a love I seemed to lose.
With my most, with my lost saint, I love thee with breath. Smile, tear all of my life.
And if God choose, I shall but love thee better feel death.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But come back soon.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
No, the sound comes up. Keep it in the middle.
So, How Do I Love Thee? Written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Okay, let's start. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height. My soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being an ideal grace. I love thee to the level of everydays. Most quite neat by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they run from Christ. I love thee with the passion put to use. In my old graves with my childish faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose. With my lost saints, I love thee with the breath. Smiles, tears of all my life, and if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. Thank you.
You said the first line and what was the second line?
No, তুমি না।
No, you don't have to. Just hold. And take closer. When you speak, take it closer. Closer, closer to your mouth.
How to love my throat?
Wait.
Second তুমি।
First line. You say the first line.
It is a breath brewing. বলো তুমি সেকেন্ড তুমি বলো।
First line. How do I love you?
আচ্ছা। How to love my throat? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the deep and breadth and height.
My soul can reach and fill the out your sting.
For the ends of being an ideal grace.
Love through the level of every day.
Most quite need by sun and candlelight.
Love through fully as men still for right.
I love thee purely as they turn from face.
Love me through with the person of food you ask.
In my old graves and with my childhood faith.
I love my throat with a love a spirit to loss.
With my lost saints, I love thee with the breath.
Smells of my life and a good coach.
I shall but love thee better after death.
I cannot. Yes.
You tell the first line, you say the second line. Don't push your eyes.
First line. I'm going.
Take it closer to your tongue.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and height. You say? Keep saying.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and heights.
My soul can reach when feeling out of sight.
For the ends of being an ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of every day.
Most quite need by sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for right.
I love thee purely as the turn from Paris.
I love thee with the passion put to use.
In my old graves and with my childhood's faith.
I love thee with a love I seem to lose.
With my lost saint, and I love thee with the bait.
Smiles, tears, all of all my life, and if God chose,
I shall but love thee better after.
After that. Thank you. Next. You say the first line, you'll be saying the second.
I will say.
We'll be trying to keep quiet.
How do I love thee? Let me count the way.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and height,
My soul can reach when filling out the sign.
for the ends of being an ideal grace,
I love thee to the level of everydays.
most quite neat by sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for rights.
I love thee purely as they turn from praise.
I love thee with the passion put to use.
In my old graves and with my childhood's faith,
I love thee with a love I seem to lose.
with my lost saint, I love thee with the breath.
Smile, tears, and of all of my life, and if God choose.
I shall but love thee better after death.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you were single at first, right? Now you are in a couple.
How do I love this? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and height,
My soul can race when falling out of sight.
for the ends of beginning and ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of everydays.
Most quit need by sun and candlelight.
I love the friendly as many step for right.
I love thee purely as they turn from praise.
I love thee with the passion put of use.
In my old griefs and with my childhood faiths,
I love thee with the love I seem to lose.
with my lost saints, I love thee with the breath.
Smile tears of all my life and eat good choice.
I shall but love thee better after death.
Thank you. Thank you. The female. Okay, you said the first line, you will say the second.
How do I love thee? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and height.
My soul can reach when feeling out of sight.
My soul can reach when feeling for the ends of being an ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of my of everydays.
I love thee to the level most quite neat by sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for right.
I love thee purely as they turn from praise.
I love thee with the passion put to use.
In my old griefs and with my childhood's faith,
I love thee with the love I meet to lose.
with my lost saints, I love thee with the breath.
Smile tears of all my life, and if God choose,
I shall but love thee better after death.
You can get to the stage as well.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and height.
My soul can reach when feeling out of sight.
For the ends of being an ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of everydays.
Most quite neat by sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for right.
I love thee purely as they turn from praise.
I love thee with the passion but put to use.
in my old graves and with my childhood's faith.
I love thee with a love I seem to lose.
With my lost saints, I love thee with the breath.
Smiles, tears of all my life, and if God chose,
I shall but love thee better after death.
How do I love thee, Elizabeth Browning? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
I love thee to the depth and breadth and height.
My soul can reach when feeling out of sight.
For the ends of being and ideal grace.
I love thee to the level of every day's most great need.
By sun and candlelight.
I love thee freely as men strive for right.
I love thee purely as they turn from praise.
I love thee with the passion put to use.
In my old griefs and with my childhood faith.
I love thee with a love I seemed to lose.
With my lost saints, I love thee with the breath.
Smiles, tears of all of my life, and if God choose,
I shall but thee better after death.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. But few things that I need to say you. What do you think? How is your reading capabilities? Huh? It's not improving, right? So what do you think where you are right now? What do you need to do right now to improve yourself? You need to practice, right? But how to practice? By missing the classes, right? But not by not coming to the classes, right? Right? Okay, few words that you need to pronounce correctly. You did very well. You did pretty well, and I hope that Rocky and you, I think you people will be improving, inshallah. Any question you want to ask? Okay, and so I'll be helping you, but those words, the words that are being mispronounced, okay? So I'll be helping you. First one, the বাংলা হচ্ছে আগে হচ্ছে ইউ ছিল না। ব্রিটিশরা এই সমস্যাটা বুঝতে পেরেছিল যে আপনি তুমি তুই এটা নিয়ে ঝগড়া লাগতে পারে, তাই সবাই ইউতে চলে আসছে। আর বাংলাদেশে মারামারি হয়, বুঝতে পেরেছেন? বাঙালি এখনো বুঝে নাই যে সব যদি তুমি হতো তাহলে হয়তো ঝগড়াটা সে হতো না। কিন্তু বাংলাদেশে এখানে তুমি আছে, তুই আছে, আপনি আছে, রাইট? বড় ভাইকে বলবেন। আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, আর ইংলিশে আগে তুই ইংরেজি ছিল দো, THOU। তুই বেটা কাপুরুষ, দো আর্ট আ লায়ার। আগে ছিল, এখন আর এটা ইউজ করা হয় না, তুই আর ইউজ করা হয় না, ঠিক আছে? সো এখন তারা হয়তো মারামারিটা লেগেছিল খুব ভয়াবহভাবে, তারা বুঝতে পারছে যে এইটা আর করা যাবে না। সো দে হ্যাভ, হ্যাঁ এখন হতে পারে, এখন তারা হচ্ছে shifted to you. Anyway, it should be the, and you should know how to say love, because আপনি তো প্রপোজ করতে গেলে মেয়ে তো দেখবে যে আপনি প্রপোজ করতে পারেন না, আপনি I love you বলতে পারেন না, I love you. So I love you বললে তো হবে না, you know, in Saudi Arab they can't say I love you, they say I love you, because of their geographical accent. They can pronounce that, they can say I love. Even the Chinese people, they have limitations. They'll be saying I love you, something like that, okay? But since you are learning, you should say I love you. You should know it, how to say it, right? পটাই দিতে হবে। Let me count the ways. Don't say it let if you are using the colloquial language. চলিত ভাষা যদি ইউজ করি আমরা, then you have to say let me do it. Don't say let me do it. Say let me do it. Let him do it. Okay? I'll let you do it. Some words should be on your throat. গলার ভিতর কিছু আটকায় থাকবে। Then this is how they speak. Depth. Okay. Then you have to say height. 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 Okay. Soul, not soil. Soul. Okay. And when you pronounce the sound of S, it should be soul. Okay. Okay. Then ideal. You see that? Look at my tongue. Ideal. Okay. Quiet. It's not quiet. Quiet is a different thing, and quiet is a different thing. Okay. Q-U-I-T-E. There is another one, and there is another one. Q-U-I-E-T. One is quiet. Keep quiet. Okay. So keep quiet. And this one, you can say, check it very easily. Most quiet. নিঃসঙ্গ যে প্রয়োজন সেটাকে বলা হচ্ছে quiet need. আমরা যখন বলি না, it's quite possible. This is quite. Q-U-I-T-E. And this one is most quiet, শান্ত, নিঃসঙ্গ প্রয়োজন। আচ্ছা, so these are the difference. Freely. You see that? একটা বাতাস বের হয়ে যাচ্ছে না? Freely. Those who used to have smoke, you know that, huh? হ্যাঁ, অনেক না প্র্যাকটিস করবে আজকে। হ্যাঁ? Freely. Okay? Strive. Again, you see the sound strive. Praise. Praise. Okay? Griefs, you know that? Okay? Then I hope if choose, say with me, choose. একালিফ টানার মতো আর কি। Choose. যত স্ট্রেস করে কথা বলবেন, কথা তত সুন্দর হবে। আর আপনারা এখানে এসে যেটা করেন, লাইক ইউ আর সো নার্ভাস, আই নো দ্যাট, ইটস ওকে, বাট এত রিজিড হয়ে গেছেন, মানে ঠান্ডায় কাঁপতেছেন, নাথিং টু ইট। ইউ আর স্পিকিং, মেক শিওর দ্যাট ইউ আর স্পিকিং ফ্রিলি। ক্লিয়ার? ডোন্ট বি অ্যাফ্রেড। নেক্সট টাইম আমরা চেষ্টা করবো আরও ভালোভাবে কথা বলতে। নেক্সট টাইম আপনাদের কাজগুলো আরও কঠিন হবে। এরপরে দেখা যাবে যে like what I'm going to do in the next class, inshallah, if Allah keeps me alive. Like you'll be seeing like কিছু শুনবেন না আপনি, খালি সিন দেখবেন, then you need to describe. মানে সব মিউট করা থাকবে, আপনি গল্পটা পুরোটা দেখবেন, দেখার পরে বলতে হবে what happened, মানে কেউ কোনো কথা বলবে না, জাস্ট অ্যাকশন হবে। No. Okay? Then you need to say actually what happened. Then you also need to write কি হয়েছে। ক্লিয়ার? সো আর যারা ক্লাস মিস করবেন, এখন আমি জানি না এটা রেকর্ডিং দেখে আপনারা কিভাবে শিখবেন। আই ডোন্ট নো, হতে পারে আপনার ইঞ্জিনিয়ারের মানুষ, তারটার জোড়া দিয়ে কিছু একটা করবেন আর কি, আই ডোন্ট নো। আচ্ছা, স্মলস টিয়ার্স অফ অল মাই লাইফ গড চুজ ডেথ বেটার। It's not butter. You take butter in the morning, right? It's not butter. I take bread and butter. And this one is better. When you pronounce, you don't need to pronounce the sound of the R. Keep it on your tongue, on your throat, better. Okay? There's no. I hope that you'll be practicing it at home. আপনারা যখন বাসে যাবেন অথবা যখন আড্ডা দিচ্ছেন, practice it. আর এটা প্র্যাকটিস করতে পারলে মেয়েও পড়ে যেতে পারে।